Welcome everyone to the MVP Open at Maple Hill. Stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour in Leicester, Massachusetts, playing the famed Maple Hill Diamond Course on a beautiful piece of property sponsored by MVP Disc Sports. I'm Sarah Hokom, here with Kona Panis to give you the feature card action from round one.
For our feature card for the round one, we have Sarah Hokom, sponsored by MVP Discs, Catrina Allen, sponsored by Prodigy, Paige, sponsored by Discraft, and Jessica Weese, sponsored by Innova Champion Discs.
A beautiful graphic of the Christmas tree farm that Maple Hill is known for. Also, there's tons of ponds, lots of water hazards. Right now on the leaderboard, getting under par seems to be the difficult part. So we're going to hope to see our feature card, get under par, and check out this action as we start this wonderful tournament that basically everybody on the road looks forward to.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite stops on the course. So hole one, 720 feet. The main objective of the tee shot is just get over this pond. You're really trying to set yourself up for just the second shot to get to the mouth. And then from the mouth, you're really looking to lay up. A few ladies are going to get aggressive if they can really bomb one off the tee. Try and get that 3 in the pin, but it's definitely a challenging green. It's surrounded by out of bounds, so you're really just trying to get your par 4.
Up first, Paige Pierce, lining it up to get over the pond. Doesn't have a whole lot of trouble getting over the pond, but being in position to get to that birdie look is certainly what she'll be trying to do to land on that road without too much fade to the left. She's throwing her Zeus here.
That's a bomb.
She's in pretty good position. I think she's in position where she might be able to go for that birdie.
Are you looking at the wind, or are you looking at the banners right there?
The wind is pretty variable right now. It was a tailwind when I first stepped up, and then it switched to a crosswind, then it was a headwind, and then it was back to a tailwind. I pushed that relativity a little far left, so I probably won't have a look at birdie, but I'll be trying to lay up to the mouth. Cat also looking to get into position to get around that corner into the green. She pushes it a little far right. Her D2 is her disc choice here. And she's also going to be in the trees, which will be difficult to get into the mouth, but she'll have a chance to get to the mouth and get a par.
Jessica, so this is her champion turn, and she grabs this disc whenever she wants to go big.
Also turns it over a little bit. And she will also be looking to get a par. The green slopes, or the opening slopes to the right, so you really have to hang it out left in order to get into good position. And Jess is well short of the gap and a little bit pinched on the right side. But with her sidearm, she should have a good chance to get into the green. I'm hanging a shock out pretty far left, hoping to land at the mouth.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. It's exactly what you want on this hole, just an easy upshot, take your 4. Yeah, that's how you want to start.
Cat choosing her sidearm with an X1 also puts it right at the mouth. Should have an easy approach.
So it looks like you guys have a few people following you. So for this DGPT event, it's actually a phase 1. So we won't see all the spectators on some of our favorite holes like hole 8. But we will see some volunteers and some players who may have finished coming out and watching as well.
So Pierce just did go for that green, hit a tree, and has a long look at birdie. Just taking the inner route. She's probably trying to go a little wider there, but it worked for her. She'll be just outside the circle for her par. Cat with a beautiful Annie putter approach with her PA1. Easy way to start the round. I'm I'm looking for a little turnover here with my spin. Missed the line a little bit, but didn't cost me. Paige for birdie.
Ooh.
It's right on line.
Mm-hmm.
And just to save her par. This really is an iconic hole with that, the pond to get over it, and then this crazy green that's just so tight to get the birdie on.
Definitely, and it actually ended up being the third most difficult hole for the FPO division.
We didn't see any birdies on it for the day, but I think we might see one or two for the weekend.
Mm-hmm. I think the big arms like the Haley King, the Paige Pierce, they'll end up getting it at some point. All right, on to hole 2, 270 feet. So the OB is all along the right side. The main objective is for the backhand players, a nice hyzer flip, kind of aiming at those trees, having it flip up nicely and just end straight at the basket. But of course, for your forehand players, you know, I think you're just looking to go dead straight, something that won't finish too hard right for the OB. Looks like Paige has a mid here.
Yeah, she's actually throwing her soul, which she throws really, really well. It's got a slight turn on it.
Ooh, pretty.
And she's right up there inside circle 1 for a putt for birdie.
Wow. So I don't know about you guys, but we had a headwind at this hole.
Yeah, we also did have a slight headwind, but it was pretty gusty. So sometimes you wouldn't have it. This is a trace.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually throw something with a little bit of fade sidearm because once it hits that hill, it skips straight rather than right. As long as you keep it low enough, you shouldn't go over the wall. Cat throwing her H3V2. It's turning. I wish it would have stayed in that turn. It was looking really good from the tee. But she's still right up there, just pin high, 12-footer. Just with that turn again.
Surprised she's going like such a distance driver. But it worked out great, so I should shut up.
I mean, it is only 270, but with the hill and probably playing more like 300, 320. Feels good to get a birdie early on this course. No problem for Paige. We're all inside the circle here.
I was about to say, are we about to see a star bird?
See that wind is kind of blowing now when it wasn't 2 seconds ago. And can Cat finish off the star frame?
Wow, that's a great hole to have star birdie on.
Cat putting with her new Ace Line P model putters. They're beautiful little purple lavender things.
Hole 3, our tee box is actually in the OB, so you have to get over this rock wall. I see a lot of players throwing a flex shot with something stable, but I also saw some people throw some hyzer flips just to get down this gap in at least a circle 2. The main goal is to try and get up there as far as you can without hitting any trees, and it's tough. Get in this circle and take your par 3. We might see some big arms. I'm excited to see Paige throw this shot because she can definitely get all the way up there.
She's going with a Raptor. So pretty overstable, and you can see that stability as she's finishing a little bit left early.
Wow.
But she still has a long look, so she snuck through those trees. This was pretty tough for sidearm dominant. I did work on it backhand in practice, but it just wasn't worth it. So I'm going to go with a flip up with a relay.
Ooh, that wind is working on your disc.
Cat also going with a really overstable play, throwing an X1 on a flex. Catches the early gap and kicks back somewhat to the middle. We'll be looking at a similar approach shot.
It's a tough tee shot just because you have to you really have to commit to the angle on that stable disc.
Just with the turn again, I think this is a really good play with something flippy that flips up through the gap rather than forcing something over like Kat and Paige did.
Beautiful.
And she got herself a putt inside the circle. Kat with a simple approach. Park job. I also have a similar approach with an NV. Not so park job. But it's a, 15, 20 footer.
For the 2, that thing got through everything.
The back side of this green is very sloped, so any misses, especially an air ball like that, is going to give you a pretty substantial comebacker.
Oh, wow, she went all the way outside the circle.
And she still has a little meat on that bone to save her bogey. Jess for 2. Hyzer putt on the pin.
Dead center. That's a great birdie.
Yeah, she is the only one outside of Missy Gannon to get this hole today.
Wow.
Here I'm putting for par. And Paige for bogey.
Oof.
A little bit shaky on the putt. These 3 in a row. We'll see if she can dial that in. Kat saving an easy 3.
All right, we're checking in with scores. Sarah leading down 1, Catrina. Everybody's kind of just chilling at this point. Oh, we got Paige. Oh, we got myself. What's up? Lisa was playing really great golf. It's nice seeing Vanessa back on the road as well. And Young Gun, Heather Young, staying close. Hole 4, 250 feet. We got the MVP sign. You can't go that way. There's actually a Mando. If you miss it, you have to re-tee. You're really just trying to get through this short gap. A lot of people might do some standstills or some really soft putter shots because if you get the glide or you put a little too high and it's dead straight, you're going out of bounds in the lake. So trying to get past these trees, have some nice power control, and just hopefully park it.
Just with her putter, a slight run up trying to hit this gap. She does. It's a pretty safe play on this hole, not trying to turn it too far down the hill and just fading off to the left side.
Tom?
I'm throwing a tomahawk with an insanity.
Are you just looking to get it on the flight plate and have it just skid down?
Yep. Just trying to get it through that first gap and give myself a look. Cat going standstill with the PA1. Doesn't turn it enough and hits an early tree. She'll have some work to do to get all the way down that hill and save her par. Paige with her Crystal Fierce. Also fades left,
Ooh.
but gets a favorable kick.
What a kick. So yeah, at this point, if you hit early, it's a layup, but it's not the easiest layup.
And with all the roots, the ground action a good shot can go bad real quick. A long putt here.
I couldn't see it, but I was out of your hand. It looked really good.
Yeah, that was. I was glad that went in.
Stand still too.
Yeah, down
That's
that hill you don't
sick.
need quite as much power.
Nice.
I'm super stoked to hit that.
That's a great too.
Just with a tricky putt. Has to go really Anheuser. But no harm, no foul. She will get her par. Cat saving her par. And Paige looking to come back after that previous bogey and get the birdie.
In the morning, in the morning.
Birdie Fuel Coffee. Oh,
He took the cup. Where's he going with the cup? That's the cup.
took the cup. BirdieFuelCoffee.com.
Alright, hole 5, 285 feet. So you're seeing the left gap that some people will take. You'll either see some backhand turnovers or some forehands, but you will see some women take the right side gap. It's a lot safer, it's more tight, but it's a lot safer. You don't have to bring the water in play as much unless you get a crazy kick, and you're really just trying to get through those trees. But it looks like Sarah's taking that left gap.
Yeah, if you've got a good sidearm, the left gap is definitely an easier play, although, of course, it could put you in the out of bounds. This is an insanity with just enough carry. Get me a look at it.
Yeah, Haley went that way and she just straight parked it. It was cool to see.
Paige also taking the outer gap, gonna throw her soul. She gets it a little bit high, and as it's finishing, it fades back out away from the water, and she is in the drink. Will be shooting from the drop zone for her third shot. Jess also with a great sidearm. She is gonna go for that outer gap with her Vulcan, or her Pharaoh, excuse me, her Pharaoh. Comes in a little early, but she is safe, and we'll have a look at birdie. Cat, she's not having any of that water. She's going H1 with a really low skipping shot, and she just executes it perfectly. She's inside the circle or at the edge.
And this drop zone is not easy.
It's a pretty simple sidearm, but definitely a butt pucker on a backhand. She parks it. She will be able to tap out her bogey. And Cat for birdie, just outside the circle. Tickles the chains. It's tough from that position to get the disc flat enough to keep it in the chains, unless you hit right side. And Jess with a really tough low to high Anheuser putt.
I like seeing her like switch back and forth, like depending on where she is, like she has both of the putts.
For sure.
And the birdie, nice.
I'm really
you.
stoked to get 2 in a row. Those 2 in a row are very gettable, but also you can bogey them very easily. So I love the score separation on this front 8. water's pretty low this year, so there's a good chance Paige will get that disc back.
Hole 6, 320 feet. This hole's pretty tough, and this actually ended up being our second most difficult hole. We got OB, rock wall all along the right side, and then you got the lake to the left. It doesn't come in play as much unless you're kicking that way, but the main objective is to try and get through that tunnel, and then get through this second smaller tunnel and save your par. It can turn into a 4 really easy if you hit early.
I'm throwing a flip up with a relay. I let it go a little low. And a bad kick kicks me to the right side of, but I'm safe against that rock wall. Jess also going with the sidearm play, throwing her Vulcan. And she shapes that shot really well and has a look for birdie. Cat going mid, looking for that flip up. On a hyzer, she flips it up, it turns, and then still hyzers out, and she is inside the circle. Beautiful shot. Perfectly executed. Paige going putter with her Crystal Fierce. Looking for a very similar line. She pulls it high and flat, and she's still safe and has a look to get around those trees for par. This is a very uncomfortable shot for me, but I'm throwing a theory, and I was really proud of that shot.
I was about to say, you're uncomfortable, but you parked it, yo. I had a few shots like those yesterday that I was like, I need to practice these more, because I would usually just throw like a forehand like up, like that's my shot, and I need to practice those annies more.
Yeah, with that rock wall on the right side, it's easy to go over the rock wall or hit the trees and kick over the rock wall. And going OB on your second shot is really unfortunate
Frustrating.
on this hole. So, Cat for birdie. Center.
Yeah.
Really solid, confident putt.
Like picture perfect hole.
Yes, this is. Take notes, folks.
Yeah.
Cat will show you how to do it. Jess, that's such a frustrating birdogey. With her hyzer putt and that slope on the left side, it was leaving her a longer comeback. Or although of course, she should have made that, but you know, there's always stuff you should do that you don't. Welcome to disc golf.
Right? Checking in scores, Sarah down 3 through 6, Catrina trading right behind, and I was actually playing with Holly. She was playing really solid golf as well. I love seeing my name up there for the moment. Hole 7, 275 feet. This is just a straight tunnel. You're really looking to throw a disc that just goes dead straight if you throw on the backhand. Forehand, I'm curious to see if any of our players throw it, what they're throwing, but you're trying to get through this tunnel gap. You might get some nice ground play, skipping up to the basket, and you're ending up a little left. I actually really like this hole because it feels like a win when you get through all those trees.
Yeah, it's short, but that elevation and the tight gap, it really makes it very technical. It seems like a pretty easy hole when you're looking at it right here, but when you step up to that tee, as you can see, it's easy to pull it left and right as you're dealing with that elevation. Cat missed with her M2. But she did get some forward and left kick. It's not super bad over there on the left side if you go forward. I'm throwing a relay, really just trying to throw it straight up the gap, but I turn it and get a kick to the right. Paige throwing her buzz, giving her a little bit more speed to get up that pathway. And she does. She'll have a look for birdie. The green is very guarded too, so you can be up there and have a very difficult putt. Jess going Valkyrie turns it into that right tree, similar to what Kat did, but she gets a way worse kick. And she can be behind all those spindly trees with very little to get up and down.
All right.
And, oh, man, that's...
Hey,
she's got to be so frustrating.
She's smiling about it. I
We
mean,
were
gosh.
joking because we were debating about who should go first because we were of a similar distance. And after she hit that tree, she said, well, you know what? You can go.
Oh, God.
Maybe I should have gone first. Going roller.
Hold.
She throws these really well.
And she'll be at circle's edge.
Tough.
It's a very tight gap for her PA1. Really beautiful touch.
I have to say, great touch on. Not a lot of people throw like the putter forehand, so that was pretty.
Kind of had to pitch it up there. Those bushes in her way. Kat saving her par. This is a very gettable hole. We see in earlier you got this hole, right? And then Lisa and Holly both did, and local Michelle Vega. Shout out to her.
Fun fact, Holly, Lisa, and I were all within 5 feet of the basket.
Wow.
It was
So-
crazy. We all hit that line.
Sometimes when like someone hits it, everybody
Everyone
hits
hits it,
and
right?
then maybe with us, like Kat missed it, and then we all
Everyone
missed
missed
it.
it.
We just feed off each other so randomly.
Hole 8, we actually have a new tee pad for this hole. It's actually more to the right, and it feels like more of a hyzer forehand. But of course, our backhand players are going to throw either a super straight disc, whether a putter, mid. It depends on how comfortable the person is with this water, because some people are just going to want to get over as far as they can, without, of course, going OB long.
Paige going putter, right at the basket, and it is tracking. Great shot.
How do you like this change? How do you like the tee pad?
It's pretty irrelevant to me. I'm really throwing the exact same shot. I'm even aiming at the exact same tree I used to aim at from the other pad. So I think it really actually comes into play more for the backhand play. You don't have as much room on the right side. Oh man, that was so close. Her PA1 hits the drink. I'm throwing a shock here out left and high, getting a big fade to the right. So
It looked
close.
so
I
good.
want that ace so bad.
I know.
It got aced actually twice in this round. Once by Paul Macbeth and once by Steve Brinster.
And they were both like dead straight, like arrows.
Just also goes to the sidearm and somehow skips off the water.
Oh my god.
The angle that was coming in, I thought it was for sure just gonna like plop in.
Wow.
But she got the skip. I don't know how. That's some pretty it's magic right there.
Some maple love.
Yeah.
Water OD.
Kat having to pitch from the drop zone. Unfortunately, she can't take it right where she went out, even if she had touched inbounds, because of the whole rules on this hole. And Justy deciding to take the
Annie.
Anheuser route. I know she likes that putt, but it's kind of scary to go over the water with that tree right there.
So I actually, sorry, I won't talk in the middle of your putt, but
It's all good.
the best part about coming up to this hole was seeing all the cutout people in the like spectator zone. Like he brought all these people
Yes, I love that.
that couldn't be there and cut them out into paper. Oh god, it was great. They were there in spirit, is what we were saying.
I was giggling when I saw all of that. I'm so glad they did that. So Paige and I matching pars, Kat getting the bogey, and Jess getting the par with her amazing water skip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great birdies from you guys. Hole 9, 420 feet. So the main objective off the tee is to get through these trees. It's an uphill shot, so you're trying to throw something super straight that'll just go dead straight. Land on this hill where these stumps are is usually great, but if you can get all the way over this hill where you can see the basket, it's pretty amazing. So beautiful green, surrounded by OB. unless you go long, of course. Second shot, if you can, try and get down here unless you're going for it. Lay up to the basket and make your elevated putt for 4. Definitely a scary green to approach if you're from far away.
Paige going putter, looking for a straight shot up the hill. And she gets a really bad kick left. She said that she keeps hitting that tree, so I'm sure she wants to go cut that one down. I'm going with a vanish, a pretty aggressive play to try to get down the hill a little bit, make that approach a little bit easier. That tree probably saved me from going into those right spindly trees, which is also a really bad place to be. Jess also with aggressive Valkyrie play. And she gets an... Oh, I wondered what happened here. Wow. Rolling, rolling,
Wow.
rolling. Okay.
Okay.
That's a better shot, better spot than where her disc would have been minus that roll. Kat also going with a putter. PA1 looking for it to go straight.
Wow.
We were also confused on how that happened. Because it was coming in really, really nice. And then she ended up way left.
It's funny all the things you don't know that happen to your disc once you throw it.
Paige throwing her Raptor to try to get forward. And now she's still got a lot of work to do to get around this corner and down the hill. And she throws it OB left here. There's such elevation coming down that hill that it's easy for something to fade.
And I didn't even mention during the intro, there is a lake to that left side, but I didn't even think to introduce it because, not a lot of people go over there.
And I also misjudged the elevation, and my theory just goes straight. Straight, OB. So I'll be trying to save my par with a long putt. Kat just chipping it down the hill, and she will chip it onto the green. Playing some veteran golf here. Jess with her second shot looking to hit the green. Turns it over just a little bit, but she's safe. Now that is a death putt, though.
I was about to say, depending on how confident she's feeling, she may just have to lay that one up.
Kat likely just, laying this up. The OB on the right side is like immediately there. Any miss is going OB unless it gets really lucky. This is for my 4. And the footing was a little wonky there. That was for her 6. Really tough hole for Paige Pierce. But this one plays really tough as it is. I mean, we see nobody getting the birdie on our card, and nobody in the whole field got the birdie today. But it is birdieable. So I think we're gonna see some birdies on it in the coming days as people get more comfortable on the course, start dialing in the lines during competition.
So checking in on the leaderboard, Sarah, look at you. First place, we got Catrina, Holly, Paige. Not much changing, except for me. We got Missy making her way up too. She just finished at +1. That's a great way to finish.
Heather Young, her first time playing here at Maple Hill. Thanks for joining us for the front 9, and we will see everyone on the back for more action from the feature card of round 1.